Oh man, good coffee. What is going on, you guys? This is another video by Julian Galves, and it is episode 4 of the Saturday morning coffee. Okay, so a little bit different setting. We're not in the comfort of my home. We're in my car. We're in downtown Sacramento. If you guys are from Sacramento, let me know in the comment section below. And the place where I went to go get my coffee is the Trade Coffee. Now the Trade is like I was saying, in downtown Sacramento, and it's right next to this coffee shop that I frequent called Temple. But Temple is closed for remodeling, okay? So I had to resort to getting the Trade Coffee, but the Trade Coffee is really good too, let me just say. And of course my coffee is black as night. It is black coffee, okay? So, consider the source. Consider the source. Take a moment to think about what that means. Okay, what does that mean to you? That phrase mean to you? Consider the source. Let me just take a sip of coffee. That's really good today. Well, what I mean by consider the source, or what I personally interpret consider the source to mean, is consider the source of criticism, those who criticize you. Okay, so it could be, let's say you have someone at work or school who tends to criticize you, right? Tends to be very negative in his or her criticism. All right, tends to like, the only time they really have to say something is when you're doing something wrong. Okay, when you're not serving them. When you're messing up, then they say something, but they never say hello. They never say how's it going or anything like that. Okay, and if that's all they're saying to you, or if the energy that they're putting out to you is completely negative, okay, and they constantly criticize you or constantly tell you what you need to do better and all this stuff like that, but they're negative people to you themselves, then you need to consider that as a bad source of criticism. Okay. Consider the source, because I guarantee if you were to look at that person's personal life, the people who are negative in your life, very, very negative, very toxic, what have you, if you were to look at their personal lives, and you were to find out the kind of things that they've gone through, what they go through, the things they put themselves through, first of all, then I guarantee you'd be like, geez, man, I would not want to trade places with that person. So you need to consider the source of criticism. Or like with me, sometimes I get, or like, the past year, I've gotten a few comments that were negative, right? And I kind of thought or like with my YouTube videos, and I most likely will continue to get negative comments, as my channel grows. But the thing that I think about is that consider the source. Okay, the people that take time out of their day to say negative things to me. The thing that I think about is what's their motive for doing that? Do they have nothing better to do than just to spew out hatred or whatever? Right? I think to myself that, it's a truly happy person doesn't have time to go out of their way to be negative, okay? And if someone really had good things going on in their life, a lot of good things going on in their life, as I was saying, they wouldn't have time to be negative towards people, towards me, or towards you, or towards anyone. Now, on the flip side, right, when we talk about considering the source, if there's someone in our life who doesn't have to be a close friend, doesn't have to be a family member, but someone who is successful themselves, or who is known as someone who's a hard worker, or who's disciplined, has their stuff together, if they give you criticism, okay, then you need to consider that as a good source. Even though they're not as close to you, you should still consider the source as good. Because of their actions, because of the way they conduct themselves, because of their lifestyle. Okay, so take for instance a buddy of mine. He lives down in LA. He was my dad, or one of my dad's former law students. My dad is a law professor. He was one of my dad's former law students, and he's a very successful lawyer, and he's a great all-around guy. Shout out to Rob. Okay. Now, he's a straight up guy. He's honest. Okay. He doesn't bull crap you. He doesn't bull crap anything. He just says things like it is. And sometimes you don't really want to hear it. But the thing is, I know that he's a good guy. I know that he does want what's best for me. He told me straight up, he wants me to be successful. So he's giving me honest criticism. Okay? Or some of the other people in my life, like my family members, like my father, my mother, stepfather. Okay? They are successful people, and they are wonderful people. Okay? And when they give me criticism, I know it's coming from a good source because of the way they live their lives, the way or the success that they did when or that they had when raising me. Because if you know me, you know that I'm not a backstabber. I don't call people down. I really don't like talking behind people's back, and I try to be an all-around good person. And the thing is, I owe that to my parents. I owe that to my step-parents. I owe that to my parents. Okay? And aunt, uncle, all the people who have contributed positively to my life. Okay? So when people give us advice, when people tell us things like it is, okay? Or when people give us their opinions, what they think, okay, and if it directly relates to us or what we're doing, we need to consider the source. We need to consider where that's coming from, okay? We need to consider who is criticizing us, right? The who meaning the source. Excuse me. Man, that's good. Again, really good coffee. One thing, too, when we talk about considering the source, is when we talk about people who claim to have knowledge, okay, a certain expertise on things. Like, not to be too political, but since it's going on right now, wearing our mask, or COVID, or all that stuff. Now, who are the people who are telling us to wear our mask? They are medical professionals. They're doctors, they're nurse practitioners, they're people who have direct experience with COVID, okay? People who have spent years and years dedicating their lives to the advancement of science and biology, medicine, technology, what have you, research. So if they're telling me, if they're the ones saying, wear a mask, and socially distance, all that stuff, then the source that I'm considering are people who have their credentials and who have experience with COVID, okay, and know that this is a monster. And the people who are telling you not to wear a mask, you need to consider that source, because I guarantee there aren't very many doctors, medical practitioners who are saying, oh, don't wear a mask, it's a hoax. Okay? The people who are telling us not to wear a mask are, people who don't know what they're talking about, just straight up. People who don't know what they're talking about. People who don't have credentials, who have no authority to speak on this. Okay? Now, the source that you consider, be careful with the source that you consider. As I was saying, consider the source of criticism and consider the source of someone who is claiming an expertise on something. Okay? So I can go on and on with this, but I want to wrap it up because I got some stuff to do today. But as I was saying, guys, consider the source of your criticizers. Consider the source. Consider the people who are. Consider the people who are putting forth certain types of knowledge, certain types of information, who they are, if they have their credentials, if they actually know what they're talking about. Okay? All right, you guys. This was episode 4 of Saturday Morning Coffee. Make sure you like, subscribe, share for more to my channel, Julian Galves. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Julian out.